Prerequisites. Azure Subscription. Azure Subscription is the top-level entity in Azure and serves as the root for managing all Azure resources. It provides a scope for billing, governance, and access control. The user must have an Azure subscription to create any Azure resource. Azure Account. Azure Account is a user account that grants access to Azure resources. The user must have an Azure account with necessary permissions to create an Azure resource group. UI access. Azure Portal. The Azure Portal is a web-based interface for managing Azure resources. You can access the Azure Portal via a web browser and use it to create, manage, and monitor Azure resources. Resource group name. This is a unique name for the resource group. It should be descriptive and follow naming conventions. A resource group is a logical container for Azure resources. Location. The geographical location of the resource group. This location determines where the Azure resources within the resource group will be deployed. Subscription. The Azure subscription associated with the resource group. It is a top-level entity in Azure that serves as the root for managing all Azure resources. Click Create. This is the action that triggers the creation of the resource group. Once you click Create, Azure will start provisioning the resources in the specified location and subscription. Prerequisites. A personal email account that is used to sign into Microsoft services, such as Outlook.com, OneDrive, and Xbox Live. A credit card or other payment method to pay for Azure services. You can use a credit card, debit card, or PayPal account. An Azure subscription is required to access Azure services. You can create a free Azure account to get started. UI access. The Azure Portal is a web-based interface for managing your Azure resources. You can sign up for an Azure account and create an Azure subscription through the Azure Portal. Steps involved. Go to the Azure Portal website. Click on the Create an Account button, which is usually located in the top right corner of the page. Provide your personal information, such as your name, email address, and password. Select the appropriate Azure subscription for your needs. There are several types of Azure subscriptions available, including free trial subscriptions, pay-as-you-go subscriptions, and enterprise agreements. Verify your account by entering a verification code that is sent to your email address. Activate your subscription to start using Azure services. You can activate your subscription by clicking on the Activate button in the Azure Portal. Prerequisites. Azure Subscription Resource. Create an Azure subscription. For accessing the Azure Open AI service, it is required to create an Azure subscription, which serves as the foundation for all your cloud resources. You can access it via the Azure Portal. Azure Resource Group. Resource. Create an Azure resource group. An Azure resource group is a logical container that houses related Azure resources like OpenAI services. Its creation is essential for managing and organizing your resources. You can create this through the Azure Portal. Azure Open AI Resource. Create Azure Open AI Resource. Creating an Azure Open AI resource is the core step in leveraging OpenAI capabilities within your Azure environment. Through the Azure Portal, you can configure and provision this resource for accessing powerful AI services. Steps involved in Azure Open AI resource configuration. Navigate to Azure Portal. Navigate to the Azure Portal. The Azure Portal is the central hub for managing and interacting with all your Azure resources. You can access the portal by visiting the official Azure website. Search for OpenAI. Search for OpenAI. Within the Azure Portal's search bar, search for OpenAI to locate the relevant OpenAI service and begin the configuration process. Select OpenAI service. Select OpenAI service. From the search results, select the OpenAI service option to proceed with setting up your OpenAI resources. Select Create. Click the Create button to start the process of creating a new Azure OpenAI resource. Provide resource group name. Provide the resource group name. Specify the name of the Azure resource group where you want to place your OpenAI resource. This resource group should already exist and be selected during the creation process. Provide resource name. Provide the resource name. Assign a unique and meaningful name to your Azure OpenAI resource. This name will be used to identify the resource in your Azure environment. Select pricing tier. Select pricing tier. Choose the pricing tier that best suits your needs and budget. Different tiers offer varying levels of resource capacity and performance for your OpenAI service. Select deployment location. Select the deployment location. Specify the geographic region where you want to deploy your OpenAI resource. This selection impacts performance, latency, and compliance considerations. Review and create. Review create. Carefully review the settings you've configured and click Create to finalize the creation of your Azure OpenAI resource. Click Create. Click Create. This action initiates the creation process of your OpenAI resource within the chosen resource group. The deployment may take a few minutes. Select deployment. Select deployment. Once the resource is successfully created, you can access the deployment details to monitor its status and progress. Select keys. Select keys. Navigate to the Keys section within your deployed OpenAI resource to access critical authentication credentials for interacting with the service. Copy deployment key. Copy deployment key. Copy the provided deployment key, which is essential for authenticating and authorizing your applications to use the OpenAI service. Select endpoint. Select endpoint. Locate the endpoint section within the deployment details of your OpenAI resource. Copy endpoint URL. Copy endpoint URL. Copy the endpoint URL, which is the unique address of your deployed OpenAI resource and is necessary for connecting your applications. Select usage. Select usage. Navigate to the usage section within the deployment to monitor the resource consumption of your OpenAI service. Monitor resource usage. Monitor resource usage. Track your resource usage to understand the consumption patterns and potential optimization opportunities for your OpenAI service. Select access. Select access. Access the access section to manage and control who has permissions to interact with your deployed OpenAI resource. Manage access to OpenAI service. Manage access to OpenAI service. Define and configure access policies for your OpenAI resource, ensuring only authorized individuals or applications can interact with the service. Select delete. Select delete. If you need to remove the OpenAI resource, navigate to the delete option within the deployment details. Delete Azure OpenAI resource. Delete Azure OpenAI resource. This action initiates the process of deleting the entire OpenAI resource, including its associated settings and data. Click Delete. Click Delete. Confirm your decision to delete the resource by clicking the Delete button. Confirm Delete. Confirm Delete. The system will prompt you to confirm your intention to delete the OpenAI resource. Select Yes. Select Yes. Confirm the deletion by selecting Yes to permanently remove the OpenAI resource from your Azure environment. Delete OpenAI service. Delete OpenAI service. The process of deleting the OpenAI resource starts. Removing the associated services and configurations. Delete Azure resource. Delete Azure resource. Once the deletion process is complete, the OpenAI resource will be permanently removed from your Azure environment. You can also access and manage your resources through the Azure portal. This step involves accessing the Azure portal, which is the central management console for Azure services. You can access it through a web browser by going to the Azure portal website. Within the Azure portal, you need to search for OpenAI in the search bar located at the top of the screen. This will help you locate the OpenAI service within the Azure ecosystem. Once the search results appear, select OpenAI from the list of options. This will take you to the main OpenAI page in the Azure portal, where you can manage OpenAI resources and services. On the OpenAI page, select Deployments. This will navigate you to the Deployments section where you can manage your existing OpenAI deployments and create new ones. Within the Deployments section, click on Create Deployment to initiate the process of creating a new OpenAI deployment. You will be prompted to provide a name for your new deployment. This name should be descriptive and easily recognizable. For instance, you could use My First OpenAI Deployment. Next, you need to select the Azure OpenAI service you want to use for this deployment. You can choose from various Azure OpenAI services, each offering different models and capabilities. You'll also need to select the deployment type. This refers to the specific configuration for your deployment, such as the type of model you'll use and the resources allocated to it. Choose the pricing tier that best fits your budget and usage requirements. The pricing tiers for Azure OpenAI deployments are based on factors like the model size, compute resources, and usage patterns. Before finalizing your deployment, review the configuration settings you've selected to ensure they meet your needs. If everything seems correct, click Create to initiate the deployment process. Once the deployment process is started, it can take some time to complete. The time it takes depends on the resources involved and the complexity of the deployment. You can monitor the deployment status within the Azure portal. Choosing the right Azure OpenAI model is crucial for optimizing your AI applications. This guide provides a comprehensive overview of the steps involved in this process, covering factors such as model capabilities, task requirements, and cost considerations. By understanding these aspects, you can make informed decisions and select the model best suited for your specific needs. Prerequisites: Azure subscription. An active Azure subscription is essential for accessing and utilizing Azure OpenAI services. This subscription acts as your gateway to the Azure cloud platform, granting you permissions to deploy and manage various resources, including Azure OpenAI models. Azure Portal is the web-based interface that allows you to manage your Azure subscription, create resources, and interact with various services. Azure OpenAI Resource. To effectively manage access and usage of Azure OpenAI models, you need to create an Azure OpenAI resource within your Azure subscription. This resource serves as a dedicated container for your Azure OpenAI models, enabling you to control their deployment, usage, and associated settings. Azure Portal provides the tools and interface to create and configure Azure OpenAI resources, offering comprehensive control over your model management. Azure OpenAI Service. Enabling the Azure OpenAI service within your Azure subscription is critical for accessing and utilizing the full range of Azure OpenAI models. This service acts as the bridge between your subscription and the powerful AI models offered by Azure OpenAI. Azure Portal allows you to enable and manage various services within your Azure subscription, providing a centralized hub for controlling access and utilization. UI access for Azure. Choose Azure OpenAI model. The Azure Portal is your primary interface for accessing and managing Azure OpenAI services. Once logged into the portal, navigate to the Azure OpenAI service, where you'll find a comprehensive list of available models along with their detailed specifications. This information includes model capabilities, performance characteristics, and cost considerations, enabling you to make informed selections based on your specific project requirements. Azure Portal provides the platform for managing Azure resources and services, offering a user-friendly interface for exploring and interacting with Azure OpenAI models. Navigate to the Azure portal to access the Azure resources. The Azure portal is the web-based interface for managing Azure services. Log into your Azure account and access the Azure portal. Select the Azure OpenAI resource from the list of your Azure resources. This resource represents your instance of the Azure OpenAI service, which you have previously created. Click on the Deployment tab within the Azure OpenAI resource page. This tab contains options and settings related to deploying models for your Azure OpenAI service. Select the specific deployment that you wish to configure. This might involve choosing from a list of pre-existing deployments or creating a new deployment. Configure the deployment settings by adjusting parameters such as the model to use, the deployment location, and any resource constraints. These settings determine the behavior of your model deployment. Click the Save button to apply the configured deployment settings. This will commit your changes and initiate the deployment process for the chosen model. Review the deployment configuration to ensure all settings are as intended before proceeding with the deployment. This is a final step to confirm the chosen model, deployment location, and other parameters. Deploy the model to make it available for use within your Azure OpenAI service. After clicking the Deploy button, the model will be deployed to the specified location and prepared for inference requests. Prerequisites. Azure subscription is a prerequisite to deploy the model. The Azure subscription provides access to Azure services such as Azure OpenAI and Azure Storage. This is needed to create an Azure OpenAI resource and Azure Storage account to deploy the OpenAI model. You can find information about creating a free Azure subscription at https://azure.microsoft.com/free https://azure.microsoft.com/free. Azure OpenAI resource is a prerequisite for deploying the model. The Azure OpenAI resource hosts the model and allows you to interact with it through an API. This provides the infrastructure to manage the OpenAI model. You can find more information on setting up an Azure OpenAI resource at https://learn.microsoft.com/Azure Cognitive Services OpenAI. How to create resource https://learn.microsoft.com. Azure Cognitive Services OpenAI. How to create resource. Azure Storage account is a prerequisite for deploying the model. The Azure Storage account is where the model files are stored. It provides a reliable and scalable way to manage the model files. The storage account can be created through the Azure portal. You can find more details on creating an Azure Storage account at https://learn.microsoft.com/Azure Storage Blob Storage account create https://learn.microsoft.com/Azurist Orage Blob Storage account create. Model files are files containing the model data in a specific format supported by Azure OpenAI. These files are typically created using training data, which enables the model to learn and understand specific tasks or domains. The model files can be created by using machine learning frameworks and libraries, such as TensorFlow or PyTorch. For example, you can use TensorFlow to train a text generation model and save it as a PB file. The model files can be saved on the local machine and then uploaded to the Azure Storage account. You can find more details about training models at https://learn.microsoft.com/Azure Cognitive Services OpenAI Quick Start Python https://learn.microsoft.com/. Azure Cognitive Services OpenAI Quick Start Python. Steps. Creating a new deployment is the initial step in the process. This is achieved through the Azure portal, where the deployment type, model, and storage account are selected. This allows you to configure the deployment according to your specific requirements. You can find more details on creating a deployment at https://learn Microsoft Communis Azure Cognitive Services OpenAI How to deploy a model https://learn Microsoft Commonu Azure Cognitive Services OpenAI How to deploy a model. Configuring the deployment involves specifying the deployment type, model, and storage account. Deployment type defines how the model is deployed. For instance, as a batch deployment or a real-time deployment. The model specifies which trained model is being deployed. The storage account specifies where the model files are stored. This configuration step ensures that the deployment is set up correctly. Uploading the model files is the process of transferring the model files from the local machine to the storage account. This step makes the model files accessible to the deployment, enabling the model to be deployed successfully. Deploying the model is the process of making the model available for use. This is done by clicking the Deploy button in the Azure portal. This process takes the configured deployment and deploys the model according to the specified settings. Testing the deployment involves ensuring that the deployed model functions as expected. This is done by using the deployed model and verifying its outputs. For example, if the deployed model is a text generation model, you can feed it with input text and check if it generates the desired output text. Monitoring the deployment involves tracking the health and performance of the deployed model. This helps to identify any issues or performance bottlenecks and address them promptly. This process ensures that the model is running smoothly and meeting its intended performance goals. Prerequisites: an active Azure subscription. This is the fundamental requirement to leverage Azure services, including Azure OpenAI. It grants you access to various Azure resources and functionalities. You can access your Azure subscription via the Azure portal, which is a web-based management interface for Azure services. An Azure OpenAI resource. This is an essential resource within Azure, specifically designed for interacting with OpenAI models. It provides the necessary infrastructure and access to different models. To create an Azure OpenAI resource, you can use the Azure portal by navigating to Resources, selecting Create, and then choosing OpenAI. Install the Azure OpenAI library. This library provides the necessary tools and functionalities to interact with the Azure OpenAI service from your Python environment. You can install it using the pip package installer, a common tool in Python environments. Running pip install Azure AI OpenAI will install the library and its dependencies. Get the connection string from the Azure OpenAI resource. This string acts as a unique identifier for your Azure OpenAI resource. It allows your code to securely connect and interact with your specific resource. You can find this connection string within the Azure portal by navigating to your Azure OpenAI resource, going to the Keys and Endpoint section, and then accessing the provided connection string. Authenticate with your Azure subscription. Before you can use your Azure OpenAI service, you need to authenticate your Python environment with your Azure subscription. This establishes a secure connection and ensures that your code has the necessary permissions to access and utilize your resources. You can use the Azure command line interface key to achieve this by running login. Create an Azure OpenAI client object. This object represents the interface between your Python code and the Azure OpenAI service. You create it using the Azure OpenAI library. You can initialize the OpenAI class by providing the endpoint obtained from your Azure OpenAI resource in the API key, also found in your Azure OpenAI resource in the constructor. For instance, OpenAI client OpenAI endpoint. API key creates a client object. Use the client object to interact with the Azure OpenAI service. Once you've created the Azure OpenAI client object, You can utilize its methods to interact with the Azure OpenAI service. You can send requests to complete text, generate different creative text formats, or even translate languages. For example, response OpenAI client, completions, create engine text DaVinci 003. Prompt Hello World sends a request to the text DaVinci 003 engine, asking it to complete the prompt Hello World. Navigate to the Azure portal and create a new Azure OpenAI resource. This resource acts as a container for your OpenAI models and allows you to manage access and usage. Once the resource is created, locate its endpoint and API key. The endpoint specifies the URL for accessing the Azure OpenAI service, while the API key is used for authentication and authorization. Install the Azure OpenAI Client Library. This library provides a convenient and efficient way to interact with the Azure OpenAI service from your application. It handles authentication, request formatting, and response parsing, making it easy to integrate OpenAI capabilities. Use the installed Azure OpenAI Client Library to make requests to the Azure OpenAI service. This library provides a high-level interface for sending requests to the service, simplifying the interaction with the underlying APIs. Use the API key and endpoint obtained from the Azure OpenAI resource to authenticate with the service. This ensures that your application is authorized to access the service and its resources. Create a new OpenAI client object using the endpoint and API key. This client object acts as your primary interface for interacting with the Azure OpenAI service. Use the created client object to access the Azure OpenAI service. This allows you to perform various operations, such as interacting with models, generating text, and managing deployments. Use the client object to make requests to the service. The client object provides methods for sending requests to the service, allowing you to invoke different functionalities and interact with OpenAI models. Use the client object to send requests to the Azure OpenAI service. This involves specifying the desired action, such as generating text, translating languages, or summarizing content, along with any required parameters. Use the client object to receive responses from the service. The service will process your request and send back a response containing the requested information or results. Use the client object to process the responses from the service. This involves extracting the relevant information from the response and using it within your application. For example, you might use the generated text for displaying in your user interface. Use the translated text for multilingual support, or use the summarized content for knowledge extraction. To interact with the Azure OpenAI service using the Azure OpenAI Python library. First, install the library using pip install Azure OpenAI. This command downloads and installs the library and its dependencies on your system, making it available for use in your Python programs. The Azure OpenAI resource represents an instance of the Azure OpenAI service within your Azure subscription. To create an Azure OpenAI resource, go to the Azure portal, navigate to the Azure OpenAI service, and follow the instructions to provision a new resource. This process involves specifying the resource's name, location, pricing tier, and other configuration settings. After creating an Azure OpenAI resource, you'll need to locate its endpoint and API key. The endpoint is a unique URL that identifies the resource, while the API key is a secret credential that allows access to the service. You can find these details on the Resources Overview page in the Azure portal. The Azure OpenAI endpoint environment variable stores the URL of your Azure OpenAI resource. It's recommended to set this variable before running your Python code. as it ensures that your application can correctly connect to the correct resource. To set the environment variable, you can use commands like export Azure OpenAI endpoint your resource endpoint in a Linux Mac OS shell, or set Azure OpenAI endpoint your resource endpoint in a Windows command prompt. The Azure OpenAI API key environment variable holds your Azure OpenAI resources API key. Like the endpoint, setting this variable beforehand ensures secure and reliable access to your resource. Use commands similar to the endpoint setup, substituting the value with your actual API key. For example, you might use export Azure OpenAI API key your API key to begin interacting with the Azure OpenAI service through your Python code. You need to create an OpenAI client object. This object serves as a bridge between your application and the Azure OpenAI service, enabling you to send requests and receive responses. The provided code snippet demonstrates how to create the client object using the OpenAI class from the Azure OpenAI library. It takes the API key and endpoint, retrieved from the environment variables, as arguments. With the OpenAI client object established, you are ready to leverage the Azure OpenAI services capabilities within your Python program. The client object provides methods for performing various tasks, such as generating text, translating languages, writing different kinds of creative content, and answering your questions in an informative way. You can call these methods on the OpenAI object to interact with the service, making use of the powerful features of Azure OpenAI. The first step is to navigate to the Azure portal. The Azure portal is a web-based interface for managing Azure resources. It provides a central location to access and manage services, resources, subscriptions, and billing information. Once you are in the Azure portal, search for OpenAI and select the OpenAI service. The Azure OpenAI service is a managed service that provides access to OpenAI's powerful language models, including GPT-3. Next, click on the Create button to deploy a new Azure OpenAI service. This will initiate the process of creating a new instance of the Azure OpenAI service. You will then be prompted to choose a resource group and a name for your service. A resource group is a logical container for Azure resources, and choosing a name helps you to organize and manage your Azure resources. Now, select a pricing tier based on your usage needs. The pricing tiers for Azure OpenAI service are based on the number of tokens you will be using. You will need to choose a tier that is appropriate for your expected usage. Specify a location for your service and create it. This will create a new Azure OpenAI service instance in the specified location. The location of your service will impact its performance and latency. Once your service is deployed, click on it to access its details. This will take you to the Services Details page, where you can view information about your service, including its configuration and usage. Navigate to the Deployment section of your service. This section provides information about the endpoints that are associated with your service. Select the endpoint that you want to manage. You can manage multiple endpoints for your service, and selecting an endpoint allows you to control its settings and configuration. Click on the endpoint name to access its details. This will take you to the Endpoints Details page, where you can view and configure the endpoint settings. In the Endpoint Details page, you can configure various settings for your endpoint. These settings may include the key rotation for securing your endpoint and the network security settings for restricting access to your endpoint. You can configure various settings for your endpoint like key rotation and network security settings. Key rotation allows you to regularly change the keys that are used to authenticate requests to your endpoint. Network security settings allow you to restrict access to your endpoint from specific IP addresses or subnets. Open the Azure portal in your web browser. This is the central hub for managing your Azure resources, including OpenAI services. In the search bar at the top of the Azure portal, type OpenAI and select the OpenAI service from the search results. On the OpenAI service page, click on the resource option. This will take you to a list of your existing OpenAI resources. From the list of resources, select API keys. This will display the API keys that are currently associated with your OpenAI service. Click the New API Key button to create a new API key for accessing your OpenAI service. Provide a descriptive name for your new API key. This will help you identify the key later when you need to use it. Select Generate Key. Azure will then generate a unique API key for you, which will be displayed on the screen. Copy the generated API key. This key is important for accessing the OpenAI service from your applications. Store the API key securely in a safe place. Do not share this key with anyone else, as it grants access to your OpenAI service. You can store it in a password manager, environment variable, or any other secure storage mechanism. Creating an Azure OpenAI resource in Azure portal. This step is the first step in preparing your input for Azure OpenAI. To do this, you'll need to create a new Azure OpenAI resource. This resource will be used to store your models, data, and other related information. You can create a new resource by navigating to the Azure portal and then selecting Create a Resource. Once you have selected Create a Resource, you will need to search for Azure OpenAI and then select the Azure OpenAI resource. You will then be prompted to provide some basic information about your resource, such as the name of the resource and the location of the resource. You will then need to choose the deployment model that you want to use. There are currently two deployment models available: Azure OpenAI and Azure OpenAI Preview. The Azure OpenAI Preview deployment model is still in preview, but it provides some additional features, such as the ability to use custom models. Once you have provided all of the necessary information, you can click on the Create button to create your new Azure OpenAI resource. Navigating to the Azure OpenAI resource in Azure portal. This step is where you will navigate to the Azure OpenAI resource that you created in the previous step. Once you are in the Azure portal, you will need to search for the Azure OpenAI resource that you created. The easiest way to find your resource is by using the search bar at the top of the page. You can type in the name of your resource and then select it from the list of results. Once you have found your resource, you will be taken to the overview page for the resource. Selecting the Deployments blade from the left-hand side menu. This step is where you will select the Deployments blade from the left-hand side menu. The Deployments blade is where you can see all of the deployments that are associated with your Azure OpenAI resource. Once you have selected the Deployments blade, you will be able to see a list of all of the deployments that are associated with your Azure OpenAI resource. Selecting the deployment that you want to use for your input. This step is where you will select the deployment that you want to use for your input. Once you have selected the Deployments blade, you will be able to see a list of all of the deployments that are associated with your Azure OpenAI resource. You can then select the deployment that you want to use for your input. Clicking on the Generate Input button in the top right corner of the page. This step is where you will click on the Generate Input button. The Generate Input button is located in the top right corner of the page. Once you have clicked on the Generate Input button, you will be taken to the Generate Input page. Selecting the input type that you want to use for your input. This step is where you will select the input type that you want to use for your input. The Generate Input page has a drop-down menu that allows you to select the input type that you want to use. The input type that you select will determine the format of the input that is generated. For example, if you select the text input type, the generated input will be a string of text. Entering the input values into the corresponding fields. This step is where you will enter the input values into the corresponding fields. The Generate Input page has a number of fields that you can use to enter the input values. The fields that are available will depend on the input type that you selected in the previous step. Clicking on the Generate button. This step is where you will click on the Generate button. The Generate button is located at the bottom of the Generate Input page. Once you have clicked on the Generate button, Azure OpenAI will generate the input based on the input values that you provided. The input will be generated and displayed in the input window. This step is where the input will be generated and displayed in the input window. Once Azure OpenAI has generated the input, it will be displayed in the input window. You can then copy the input from the input window and use it in your Azure OpenAI application. Copying the input and using it in your Azure OpenAI application. This step is where you will copy the input and use it in your Azure OpenAI application. Once you have copied the input from the input window, you can use it in your Azure OpenAI application. You can use the input to train a new model, or you can use it to generate text, translate languages, or perform other tasks. This step involves creating an Azure OpenAI resource in the Azure portal. An Azure OpenAI resource is a container for your Azure OpenAI service, which allows you to manage access and billing for your service. For example, in the Azure portal, you will go to create a resource and search for OpenAI. Then you will select Azure OpenAI service and fill out the required details to create the resource. This step involves creating an Azure OpenAI service in the Azure portal. An Azure OpenAI service is a service that allows you to use the OpenAI models in your applications. It is hosted in the cloud and provides a secure and reliable way to access the OpenAI models. For example, you might create an Azure OpenAI service called My OpenAI service that uses the GPT-3 model. This step involves configuring the Azure OpenAI service with the desired model and deployment settings. This involves selecting the OpenAI model you want to use and configuring the deployment settings. For example, you might choose to deploy the GPT-3 model and set the deployment to production mode. This step involves creating an Azure OpenAI client application to interact with the Azure OpenAI service. This application will be used to send requests to the Azure OpenAI service and receive responses. For example, you might create a Python client application that uses the Azure OpenAI SDK to interact with your Azure OpenAI service. This step involves using the Azure OpenAI client application to send requests to the Azure OpenAI service. These requests can be used to perform various tasks, such as generating text, translating languages, or writing different kinds of creative content. For example, you might send a request to your Azure OpenAI service to generate a summary of a news article using the GPT-3 model. This step involves accessing the Azure OpenAI service through the Azure portal or through the Azure OpenAI SDK. The Azure portal provides a user interface for managing your Azure OpenAI service and accessing OpenAI models. The Azure OpenAI SDK provides a library of functions that can be used to interact with your Azure OpenAI service from your application code. For example, you might use the Azure portal to monitor the performance of your Azure OpenAI service. Or you might use the Azure OpenAI SDK to send requests to your Azure OpenAI service from your Python client application. This step involves accessing the Azure OpenAI service through the Azure portal or through the Azure OpenAI SDK. The Azure portal provides a user interface for managing your Azure OpenAI service and accessing OpenAI models. The Azure OpenAI SDK provides a library of functions that can be used to interact with your Azure OpenAI service from your application code. For example, you might use the Azure portal to monitor the performance of your Azure OpenAI service. To begin, access the Azure portal, which is the central hub for managing all your Azure resources. This portal provides a user-friendly interface for navigating and interacting with various Azure services. Once you are in the Azure portal, locate and select the Azure OpenAI service. This service empowers you to leverage the power of OpenAI's advanced language models within your Azure environment. Within the Azure OpenAI service, choose the specific Azure OpenAI resource that you want to work with. Each resource represents a distinct instance of the service, allowing you to manage and control its settings and access. After selecting your Azure OpenAI resource, locate and click on the Send Request button. This action initiates the process of sending a request to the chosen Azure OpenAI model for processing. In the text box provided, carefully craft and enter your request. This is where you'll provide the specific text or instructions that you want the Azure OpenAI model to process and respond to. Select the appropriate deployment from the available options. Deployments represent different versions of the Azure OpenAI model, each potentially having unique characteristics and capabilities. Choose the desired model for your request. Azure OpenAI offers a range of models, each with its own strengths and areas of expertise. Consider the specific task you need to accomplish when selecting a model. Specify the desired temperature value, which controls the creativity and randomness of the model's responses. A higher temperature value typically leads to more unpredictable and creative outputs. Enter the maximum number of tokens that you want the model to generate in its response. Tokens are units of text, and setting a limit helps control the length and complexity of the output. Select the desired top p-value, which influences the probability distribution of the model's output. A higher top p-value typically allows for a wider range of possible responses. Enter the desired top k-value, which limits the number of possible outputs considered by the model. A smaller top k-value results in a more focused and predictable response. Choose the desired frequency penalty value, which discourages the model from repeating certain words or phrases excessively in its response. Enter the desired presence penalty value, which penalizes the model for including certain words or phrases that are deemed undesirable. Click on the Send button to submit your request to the Azure OpenAI model. This initiates the processing of your request and the generation of a response. After sending your request, the Azure OpenAI service will process it and generate a response. View the generated response to see the output of the model, which will be based on your request and the model's capabilities. Prerequisites. This step involves having an active Azure subscription and access to the Azure portal to manage resources and settings. A subscription allows you to use Azure services and resources. You can create a free trial subscription or sign up for a paid subscription based on your needs. You can access the Azure portal through a web browser and manage your Azure resources from there. An Azure OpenAI resource is required to use Azure OpenAI models. This resource can be created within the Azure portal and it acts as a container for your Azure OpenAI models. You can manage your models and their access within this resource. You can create an Azure OpenAI resource by navigating to the Azure portal and creating a new resource. This resource type is called Azure OpenAI Service. UI access for Azure. Specify Azure OpenAI model. Azure Portal is the central management interface for Azure services and resources. It provides a web-based dashboard to manage your Azure subscription, create resources, configure settings, and monitor your applications. You can access the Azure portal to manage your Azure OpenAI resource and models. OpenAI Studio is a web-based tool integrated within the Azure OpenAI resource that provides a user-friendly interface for working with Azure OpenAI models. It allows you to test your models, fine-tune them with your data, and deploy them to your applications. You can use OpenAI Studio to interact with your models, experiment with different parameters, and visualize the model's outputs. Steps involved in specifying Azure OpenAI model. Navigate to the Azure OpenAI resource you created in the Azure portal. This resource hosts the Azure OpenAI models you can use. You can access the resource through the Azure portal's search bar or by browsing through your resource groups. Within the Azure OpenAI resource, you will find a list of deployments that correspond to the models available to you. Each deployment represents a specific instance of an Azure OpenAI model. Select the deployment that contains the model you want to use. Once you select the desired deployment, a drop-down menu will appear that lists the available models within that deployment. Choose the model from the drop-down that best fits your requirements and application needs. Each model has different versions that represent various updates and improvements to the models. Capabilities. Select the desired model version from the available options. You can refer to the model documentation to understand the differences between versions and choose the one that suits your specific use case. After selecting the desired model and version, save the changes to apply your selection. This ensures that the Azure OpenAI resource is configured to use the selected model and version. You can typically find a Save button or an Apply button within the Azure portal or OpenAI Studio. After saving the changes, you can start using the selected model in your applications. This means you can send requests to the model and receive responses based on its capabilities. You can use various SDKs and libraries available in different programming languages to integrate the Azure OpenAI model into your code. You can test and experiment with the model within OpenAI Studio to understand its behavior and capabilities. Prerequisites. This refers to the requirement of an active subscription to Azure, which is the cloud computing platform from Microsoft. The Azure subscription provides access to various Azure services such as Azure OpenAI. It can be acquired through the Azure portal, a web-based interface for managing Azure resources. This refers to an Azure OpenAI resource. It is an instance of the Azure OpenAI service deployed within your Azure subscription. It is required to set up and use OpenAI models within Azure. You can create an Azure OpenAI resource through the Azure portal. UI access. Azure portal is a web-based interface used to manage and administer Azure resources. It provides a graphical user interface to create, monitor, and manage Azure services including Azure OpenAI. Access to the Azure portal is essential for setting up and managing the Azure OpenAI service. Steps to set Azure OpenAI parameters. This step involves navigating to the Azure OpenAI resource that was created within your Azure subscription. This resource represents a specific instance of Azure OpenAI service within your Azure environment. After navigating to the Azure OpenAI resource, select the deployment associated with the resource. Deployments represent specific configurations of the Azure OpenAI service. Each deployment can be configured with specific parameters, such as the OpenAI model to use, its deployment settings, and resource allocation. This step involves accessing the settings section within the deployment of the Azure OpenAI resource. The settings section allows you to configure various aspects of the deployment, such as its name, deployment type, model settings, and resource allocation. This step focuses on configuring the parameters for the Azure OpenAI deployment. These parameters include settings related to the OpenAI model to use, its deployment options, and resource allocation. The final step involves saving the configured parameters for the Azure OpenAI deployment. This ensures that the specified settings are applied to the deployment, enabling the Azure OpenAI service to operate according to the defined configuration. Prerequisites: Azure subscription. An active Azure subscription is required to access Azure services including Azure OpenAI. You can create a free account at the Azure portal. Azure OpenAI resource. A dedicated Azure OpenAI resource is needed to house your Azure OpenAI deployments. Create an Azure OpenAI resource using the Azure portal. Azure Key Vault. An Azure Key Vault is used to securely store your Azure OpenAI deployment keys in endpoint URLs. Create an Azure Key Vault within your Azure subscription using the Azure portal. Steps involved in configuring Azure OpenAI request headers. 1. Navigate to the Azure OpenAI resource you created in the Azure portal. 2. Select the Deployment tab within the Azure OpenAI resource. 3. Within the Deployment tab, choose Keys and Endpoint. 4. Copy the deployment key in the endpoint URL from the Keys and Endpoint section of your Azure OpenAI resource. 5. Navigate to your Azure Key Vault in the Azure portal. 6. Within the Azure Key Vault, select the Secrets section. 7. Click on Generate Import to add a new secret to your Azure Key Vault. 8. Enter a name for your secret and set the value to the copied deployment key from your Azure OpenAI resource. 9. Click Create to save your newly created secret in the Azure Key Vault. 10. Repeat step 79 to create another secret for the endpoint URL copied from your Azure OpenAI resource. 11. When making requests to the Azure OpenAI service, use these newly created secrets in the request headers. 12. Set the API key header to the value of the secret you created for the deployment key. 13. Set the API base header to the value of the secret you created for the endpoint URL. This section describes the process of utilizing the output from Azure OpenAI service within your applications. It encompasses the steps involved in retrieving, interpreting, and integrating the generated text into your workflows. Prerequisites: Azure subscription. An active Azure subscription is essential to access and utilize the Azure OpenAI service. To obtain an Azure subscription, you can visit the Azure portal, the central hub for managing and accessing Azure services. Azure OpenAI resource. To use Azure OpenAI service, you must create an Azure OpenAI resource within your Azure subscription. This resource acts as a container for your OpenAI models and deployments. You can create an Azure OpenAI resource using the Azure portal, which provides a user-friendly interface for managing your Azure resources. Azure OpenAI deployment. To utilize the capabilities of Azure OpenAI models, you need to deploy them to your Azure OpenAI resource. This deployment process involves configuring and activating a chosen OpenAI model within your resource, making it readily available for use. You can manage model deployments through the Azure portal, which offers intuitive tools for deploying and managing models. UI access. The Azure portal is the central interface for managing and interacting with your Azure resources, including Azure OpenAI service. The portal provides a comprehensive suite of tools and dashboards for configuring, deploying, and monitoring your OpenAI resources and models. You can access the Azure portal using a web browser to manage your OpenAI deployments. Access API keys and monitor model usage. Navigate to the Azure OpenAI Studio in the Azure portal. This step involves logging into the Azure portal and accessing the Azure OpenAI service, where you can manage your deployments and access related resources. Select the deployment that you want to extract results from here. You need to choose the specific Azure OpenAI deployment for which you want to retrieve the results. Each deployment represents a unique model configuration and endpoint. Click on the Results tab in the left-hand navigation pane. The Results tab provides access to the performance metrics and usage data associated with your chosen deployment. Choose the time range for which you want to extract results. This step lets you specify the period for which you want to download the results, allowing you to analyze data within a specific time frame. Click on the Download button to download the results as a CSV file. Clicking the Download button will initiate the process of exporting the results data in a CSV file format, which is compatible with most spreadsheet applications. Open the CSV file in a spreadsheet application. You can then open the downloaded CSV file in an application like Microsoft Excel, Google Sheets, or LibreOffice Calc, enabling you to view and analyze the data in a structured format. Review and analyze the extracted results now. You can explore the downloaded results data, which typically includes metrics like request count, latency, error rate, and other relevant information about your deployment. You can use the extracted results to improve your Azure OpenAI model or to gain insights into your data by analyzing the results. You can identify areas for improvement in your model's performance or gain insights into how your data is being processed by the model. These insights can help you refine your deployment, optimize model parameters, and ultimately enhance the effectiveness of your AI solutions. Prerequisites: access to Azure subscription. To access and use Azure OpenAI services, you need an active Azure subscription. You can sign up for a free trial or purchase a paid subscription based on your requirements. This subscription provides you with access to Azure resources and services, including OpenAI models. Create Azure OpenAI service within the Azure portal. You can create an Azure OpenAI service instance. This service acts as a container for your OpenAI models. During service creation, you specify the desired model, e.g., GPT-3, codecs, the pricing tier, and other configuration options. The service will provision the required resources and make the model available for use. Navigate to Azure Analyze Results. Once your Azure OpenAI service is set up, you can access the Analyze Results section within the Services interface in the Azure portal. This section displays insights and metrics related to the model's performance, including usage statistics, error rates, and model health. It provides valuable information for understanding your model's behavior and identifying areas for improvement. Steps to analyze results. Select the Azure OpenAI service in the Analyze Results section. You will see a list of Azure OpenAI services that you have created. Select the specific service you want to analyze. Select the deployment. Once you have selected the Azure OpenAI service, you will need to choose a specific deployment within that service. Deployments represent different configurations of the model, such as the specific model type, its version, and any custom settings you have applied. View the results after selecting the deployment. You can view the results of your model's performance. This section usually includes various metrics like usage statistics, error rates, latency, and other relevant data points. Analyze the results. Review the results and analyze them to identify patterns, trends, and areas for improvement. You can use the insights gathered to optimize your model's performance, address potential issues, and make informed decisions regarding its usage. Download the results for further analysis or offline review. You can download the results data. This allows you to export the information in a convenient format, such as CSV or JSON, for easier processing and analysis using external tools or scripts. Share the results. You may have the ability to share the results with other users or collaborators. This allows you to communicate the model's performance, identify areas of success or improvement, and facilitate collaborative decision-making regarding the model's development and deployment. Prerequisites: Azure subscription is required to use Azure OpenAI service. Access Azure portal. You can create a free Azure account from the Azure portal https://portal.azure.com. Once you've created an account, you can access and manage your Azure resources. Azure OpenAI resource is required to access Azure OpenAI models. Access Azure portal Azure OpenAI resource. Navigate to the Azure OpenAI resource section in the Azure portal. Once you've created an Azure OpenAI resource, you will have access to various Azure OpenAI models, such as Text DaVinci 003 or Code DaVinci 002. Azure OpenAI deployment is required to use Azure OpenAI models. Access Azure portal Azure OpenAI deployment. You can create an Azure OpenAI deployment through the Azure portal. After you've created a deployment, you can deploy and manage Azure OpenAI models for different tasks. Steps to optimize Azure OpenAI parameters. Navigate to Azure OpenAI deployment in Azure portal. This is the portal you will use to configure and manage your Azure OpenAI models. Select Settings tab. This will display various settings for your Azure OpenAI deployment, such as deployment type, model, and parameters. Select Deployment section. This is where you will find the parameters to optimize the performance of your Azure OpenAI models. Modify Max Tokens parameter to adjust the maximum number of tokens to be generated by the model. You can adjust the Max Tokens parameter to control the length of the generated text. For example, a lower value for Max Tokens will generate shorter responses. A higher value will generate longer responses. Modify Temperature parameter to adjust the creativity and randomness of the generated text. A lower value for temperature will generate more predictable and deterministic responses. A higher value for temperature will generate more creative and unpredictable responses. Modify Top parameter to control the probability distribution of the generated text. The top parameter controls the probability distribution of the generated text. A lower value will generate text that is closer to the most likely next word in the sequence. A higher value will allow the model to generate text that is more diverse and unexpected. Modify Frequency penalty parameter to adjust the probability of repeating tokens in the generated text. A higher value for frequency penalty will make the model less likely to repeat tokens that have already been generated. Modify Presence penalty parameter to adjust the probability of generating tokens that have already been generated. A higher value for presence penalty will make the model less likely to generate tokens that have already been generated in the current response. Modify Stop Sequences parameter to specify the sequences of tokens that should terminate a generation process. Stop sequences can be used to control the length of the generated text. For example, you can set a stop sequences to be a period or a question mark to terminate the generation process when these tokens are generated. Save the changes to the Azure OpenAI deployment. This will ensure that the changes you've made are applied to your Azure OpenAI deployment. This guide provides a comprehensive approach to selecting the most suitable Azure OpenAI model for your specific needs and use cases. It helps you navigate through the process of understanding your requirements, identifying relevant models, and making informed decisions based on performance, cost, and latency considerations. Prerequisites: Azure subscription. An active Azure subscription is essential for accessing and utilizing the Azure OpenAI service. You need to have an existing Azure account and a valid subscription to proceed with using Azure OpenAI. You can create a free Azure account and explore various subscription options through the Azure portal. Azure portal: this refers to the web-based interface provided by Microsoft for managing your Azure resources and services. It offers a centralized platform for creating, configuring, and monitoring your Azure components, including Azure OpenAI. You can access the Azure portal at portal.azure.com. Azure OpenAI resource. Creating an Azure OpenAI resource involves setting up a dedicated instance of the Azure OpenAI service within your Azure subscription. This resource acts as a container for your Azure OpenAI models and deployments. It allows you to manage and control access to your Azure OpenAI services within your subscription. The creation process is straightforward and can be accomplished through the Azure portal. Azure portal: this refers to the web-based interface provided by Microsoft for managing your Azure resources and services. It offers a centralized platform for creating, configuring, and monitoring your Azure components, including Azure OpenAI. You can access the Azure portal at portal.azure.com. Azure OpenAI deployment. Deploying an Azure OpenAI model to your Azure OpenAI resource involves making a specific Azure OpenAI model available for use within your environment. This involves selecting a desired model from the Azure OpenAI service and configuring its deployment settings within your Azure OpenAI resource. This process enables you to utilize the selected model for your specific tasks and applications. Azure portal: this refers to the web-based interface provided by Microsoft for managing your Azure resources and services. It offers a centralized platform for creating, configuring, and monitoring your Azure components, including Azure OpenAI. You can access the Azure portal at portal.azure.com. UI access. Azure portal: this refers to the web-based interface provided by Microsoft for managing your Azure resources and services. It offers a centralized platform for creating, configuring, and monitoring your Azure components, including Azure OpenAI. You can access the Azure portal at portal.azure.com. Steps to improve Azure OpenAI model selection. Understand your use case. This step involves clearly defining the specific task or goal you intend to accomplish using Azure OpenAI. This could be anything from generating creative text content to performing language translation or analyzing sentiment in customer feedback. The more precise your understanding of the desired outcome, the better you can align your model selection with your requirements. Define the specific task you want to accomplish with Azure OpenAI. For example, if you want to create an AI-powered chatbot, your use case would be to engage in natural language conversations with users. This could involve understanding their queries, providing relevant information, and responding in a conversational manner. Identify model capabilities. This step involves researching and understanding the capabilities of different Azure OpenAI models available. Each model has its unique strengths and weaknesses, and it is essential to identify those that align with your specific use case. This involves exploring their training datasets, specific skills, and performance characteristics. Research the capabilities of different Azure OpenAI models and their strengths and weaknesses. For example, Some models might excel in text generation, while others might be better suited for language translation or code completion. Understanding these capabilities helps you narrow down your options to models that best match your requirements. Evaluate model performance. This step involves using the Azure OpenAI Studio to test different models against your data and compare their performance. This allows you to assess how well each model performs in relation to your specific task. You can use the Studio's tools to evaluate metrics such as accuracy, fluency, and coherence. Use the Azure OpenAI Studio to test different models on your data and compare their performance. For instance, if you are evaluating models for chatbot development, you can test their ability to understand and respond to a variety of user inputs. Analyzing their accuracy, fluency, and ability to maintain context in the conversation. Consider cost and latency. This step involves assessing the cost of using different models and their latency performance. Some models might be more computationally intensive, leading to higher costs and longer response times. It is essential to consider these factors in relation to your budget and performance requirements. Evaluate the cost of using different models and their latency performance to meet your requirements. For example, if you are working with a budget-constrained project or require fast response times, you may need to prioritize models that offer a balance between cost and performance. Choose the best model based on the evaluation of model capabilities, performance, cost, and latency. Select the model that best balances your requirements. This is the core decision-making step, where you choose the model that offers the optimal combination of performance, cost-effectiveness, and responsiveness for your use case. Select the model that best balances performance, cost, and latency for your use case. For example, if your use case requires high accuracy and fluency but has less stringent requirements for response time, you might choose a more powerful but computationally expensive model. Fine-tune model. This step involves considering the possibility of fine-tuning the selected model with your specific data to further improve its performance on your task. Fine-tuning allows you to tailor the model to your unique dataset and enhance its accuracy for your particular use case. Consider fine-tuning the selected model with your specific data to improve its performance on your task. For instance, if you are building a chatbot for customer support, you can fine-tune the model with your company's customer interactions data, enabling it to better understand your specific industry jargon and respond more accurately to customer inquiries. Monitor and optimize. It is crucial to regularly monitor the performance of your chosen model and adjust your model selection or fine-tuning strategy as needed. This continuous monitoring process helps you ensure that your model continues to perform optimally for your use case. Regularly monitor the performance of your chosen model and adjust your model selection or fine-tuning strategy as needed. For example, you might need to reevaluate your model selection if new models become available with improved capabilities or if your use case evolves over time. You may also need to adjust your fine-tuning strategy based on changes in your data or performance metrics. This document outlines the implementation of security measures for the Azure OpenAI service. The focus is on securing data, controlling access, and promoting responsible AI usage. Prerequisites: Azure subscription. Short description. An active Azure subscription is required for accessing and managing Azure OpenAI resources. The Azure subscription acts as the central account for managing all Azure services, including Azure OpenAI. UI access. Azure Portal is the web-based interface for managing Azure resources. Azure OpenAI resource. Short description. A deployed Azure OpenAI resource is essential to apply security measures. This resource represents your Azure OpenAI service instance in the Azure environment. UI access. UI access. Steps. Configure network security. Restrict access to Azure OpenAI resources through virtual networks VNets and firewalls. This step enforces network-level security by allowing access to the Azure OpenAI service only from specific trusted networks. This can be achieved by configuring virtual networks VNets and firewalls to control inbound and outbound traffic. For instance, you might restrict access to Azure OpenAI from specific IP addresses or subnets, ensuring that only authorized systems can interact with your Azure OpenAI service. Implement access control. Use Azure Active Directory Azure AD to manage user and group permissions. For Azure OpenAI service, Azure Active Directory Azure AD is used to control who can access and manage your Azure OpenAI service. By setting up access controls, you can define specific roles with varying levels of permissions for users and groups. For example, you could create a role that grants read-only access to certain Azure OpenAI resources, allowing users to view data but not modify it. Enable data encryption. Encrypt data at rest and in transit by leveraging Azure Key Vault and TLS/SSL protocols. Data encryption is crucial for protecting sensitive information. Azure Key Vault provides a secure store for encryption keys, while TLS/SSL protocols ensure secure data transmission. Data encryption can be applied to both data at rest, data stored in the Azure OpenAI service, and data in transit, data being transferred between the client and the Azure OpenAI service. Configure monitoring and logging. Monitor Azure OpenAI activity and logs for suspicious behavior or security incidents. Continuous monitoring of Azure OpenAI activity and logs is essential for detecting and responding to potential security threats. By analyzing logs, you can identify unusual patterns or activities that could indicate a security breach. This involves setting up monitoring tools and alerts to track key metrics and trigger notifications when suspicious activity is detected. Implement responsible AI practices. Adhere to ethical guidelines and best practices for responsible AI development and deployment. Responsible AI involves considering the ethical implications and potential societal impact of AI systems. This includes adhering to ethical guidelines for data usage, ensuring fairness and transparency in AI decisions, and mitigating risks associated with bias or discrimination. Regularly review and update security measures. Continuously assess and update security measures to adapt to evolving threats and best practices. Security threats and best practices are constantly evolving, so it is essential to regularly review and update your security measures. This involves staying informed about emerging threats, evaluating the effectiveness of existing security controls, and implementing updates to address new vulnerabilities. Integrate Azure OpenAI with other Azure services, including Azure Functions, Logic Apps, and Power Automate, to enhance workflows and application capabilities. This integration allows developers to leverage the power of Azure OpenAI models within their existing Azure applications and services, enabling more sophisticated and intelligent applications. Prerequisites: Azure subscription. An active Azure subscription is required to access and manage Azure resources. This subscription grants permissions to create, configure, and utilize various Azure services, including Azure OpenAI. To obtain an Azure subscription, users can sign up for a free trial or purchase a paid subscription based on their requirements. Azure OpenAI resource. An Azure OpenAI resource is necessary for interacting with Azure OpenAI models. This resource encompasses an OpenAI model, such as GPT-3 or Codex, and its deployment settings. These settings define the model's availability, usage limits, and access controls. Users can create an Azure OpenAI resource through the Azure portal, selecting from a range of available OpenAI models based on their intended applications. Azure Service Resource. An Azure Service Resource, such as an Azure Function, Logic App, or Power Automate Flow, serves as the integration point for Azure OpenAI. Azure Functions provide serverless compute environments for executing code triggered by various events. Logic Apps enable the creation of automated workflows that connect different cloud services and applications. Power Automate, on the other hand, offers a visual interface for automating tasks and processes. UI access for Azure integrate Azure OpenAI with other services. The Azure portal provides a centralized interface for managing Azure resources and services. It allows users to access and manage Azure OpenAI resources, Azure Functions, Logic Apps, and Power Automate, facilitating the integration process. The portal provides a graphical representation of these resources, enabling users to configure settings, monitor performance, and troubleshoot issues. Steps involved in integrating Azure OpenAI with other Azure services. The first step involves creating or configuring an Azure service resource that will interact with Azure OpenAI. This resource serves as the bridge between the Azure OpenAI model and other Azure services. For example, a developer might create an Azure function to handle requests from other applications and forward them to Azure OpenAI for processing. Alternatively, a Logic app can be configured to trigger an Azure OpenAI model based on specific events or conditions. To communicate with the Azure OpenAI model, it's essential to obtain the Azure OpenAI resource endpoint and API key. The endpoint serves as the address for sending requests to the model, while the API key acts as a security credential for authentication. These credentials are typically obtained from the Azure OpenAI resource settings in the Azure portal. Next, Azure OpenAI must be integrated into the Azure Service Resource. This involves using the appropriate methods for interaction, such as HTTP requests or the Azure SDK. HTTP requests allow for sending data to the Azure OpenAI model and retrieving responses. The Azure SDK, on the other hand, provides a more structured and convenient way to interact with Azure OpenAI services within code. To utilize the integrated Azure OpenAI model, the Azure Service Resource must be configured to send data to the model and receive responses. This configuration involves defining the input data format, specifying the desired model behavior, and handling responses. For instance, an Azure function might be configured to receive user input, format it for Azure OpenAI, send the data to the model, and receive a generated response, which it then processes and returns to the user. After integration and configuration, it's crucial to test the integration thoroughly. This involves triggering the Azure Service Resource and verifying that it interacts correctly with Azure OpenAI. For instance, sending a sample request to the Azure function and checking if it successfully communicates with the Azure OpenAI model, processes the response, and returns the desired output. These tests ensure that the integration is functioning as intended and that data is being processed accurately. Create an Azure OpenAI service resource in the Azure portal and configure it with an API key and deployment settings. This step involves creating a new Azure OpenAI resource in your Azure subscription. You will need to specify the resource group location and other relevant settings. You Will also need to generate an API key to authenticate your Logic apps with the Azure OpenAI service. And configure the deployment settings for your chosen Azure OpenAI model. Install an Azure OpenAI connector within your Azure Logic Apps resource. This step involves accessing the Azure Logic Apps resource in the Azure portal and installing the Azure OpenAI connector from the Azure Logic Apps Marketplace. This connector provides the necessary integration points between your Logic app and the Azure OpenAI service. Define a workflow within your Logic Apps resource and specify a trigger event to initiate the workflow. This step involves creating a new Logic app workflow in your Azure Logic Apps resource. You will need to specify a trigger event that will start the workflow. This trigger event could be a scheduled event, a HTTP request, or an event from another Azure service. Add an Azure OpenAI action to your Logic app workflow and configure it to use your chosen Azure OpenAI service and API key. This step involves adding an Azure OpenAI action to your Logic app workflow. You will need to configure this action to use the Azure OpenAI service that you created earlier and provide the API key that you generated. This action will allow your Logic app to interact with the Azure OpenAI service. Provide the prompt you want to send to the Azure OpenAI service and specify the desired Azure OpenAI model. To use this step involves specifying the prompt that you want to send to the Azure OpenAI service. This prompt will be the input to the Azure OpenAI model. You will also need to specify the Azure OpenAI model that you want to use for processing your prompt. For example, you could use the Text DaVinci 003 model for text generation or the CodeDaVinci 002 model for code generation. Configure the Logic Apps workflow to process the response from the Azure OpenAI service and take any necessary actions. This step involves configuring your Logic app to handle the response from the Azure OpenAI service. This response will contain the output of the Azure OpenAI model based on your provided prompt. You can then configure your Logic app to take further actions based on this response, such as saving the output to a database, sending an email, or triggering another workflow. Thoroughly test your Logic app workflow to ensure it is operating correctly and achieving the desired functionality. This step involves testing your Logic app workflow to ensure it is functioning as expected and meeting the required functionality. You can test your workflow by triggering it with sample inputs and verify that the Azure OpenAI service is being called correctly and that the Logic app is handling the response appropriately. Use the Azure portal to manage and administer your Azure OpenAI services. The Azure portal provides a centralized location for managing all your Azure OpenAI services. This includes tasks like creating and deleting Azure OpenAI services, managing API keys, configuring deployment settings, and monitoring service usage and performance. Use the Azure portal to manage and administer your Azure Logic apps. The Azure portal provides a centralized location for managing all your Azure Logic apps. This includes tasks like creating and deleting Logic apps, managing connections and connectors, configuring workflows, and monitoring workflow execution. Use the Azure portal to manage and administer your Logic apps workflows. The Azure portal provides a centralized location for managing all your Logic apps workflows. This includes tasks like creating and deleting workflows, configuring triggers and actions, monitoring workflow execution, and managing workflow data. Use the Azure portal to manage and administer your Azure OpenAI connector. The Azure portal provides a centralized location for managing all your Azure OpenAI connectors. This includes tasks like installing and uninstalling connectors, configuring connector settings, and monitoring connector usage and performance. Prerequisites. An Azure subscription is required to deploy and manage Azure OpenAI services. Navigate to the Azure portal. This is the first step in publishing an Azure OpenAI application. For example, you can sign up for a free trial of Azure and create an Azure subscription. An Azure OpenAI resource needs to be created in the Azure portal. Navigate to the Azure OpenAI service in the Azure portal. This step involves creating an Azure OpenAI resource in the Azure portal. This resource will host your Azure OpenAI application. An OpenAI model needs to be selected for the application. Select the desired OpenAI model in the Azure OpenAI service settings. This step involves selecting an OpenAI model for your Azure OpenAI application. This could be a model like GPT-3 or Codex. The application code needs to be written and configured to interact with the selected OpenAI model. Write the application code using the Azure OpenAI SDK. This step involves writing and configuring the application code to interact with the selected OpenAI model. This code will send requests to the OpenAI model and receive responses. UI access for publishing Azure OpenAI application. Navigate to the Azure OpenAI resource in the Azure portal. Click on the Deploy button. Select the deployment options and configuration settings. Click on the Deploy button to publish the Azure OpenAI application. This step involves publishing the Azure OpenAI application to the Azure cloud. This makes your application available to users and clients. This guide provides comprehensive steps to optimize the performance of your Azure OpenAI applications. It outlines a systematic approach for enhancing the efficiency and responsiveness of your AI-powered applications. By leveraging these strategies, you can achieve significant improvements in model processing speed, response times, and overall user experience. Prerequisites: Azure subscription. An active Azure subscription is essential to create and manage Azure resources, including Azure OpenAI services. You can sign up for a free trial or utilize an existing subscription to access the Azure portal and manage your resources. Azure OpenAI service. An Azure OpenAI service provides access to various OpenAI models, enabling you to integrate powerful AI capabilities into your applications. You can create and manage your Azure OpenAI service through the Azure portal. Configuring settings such as pricing plans and resource allocation. Application code. Access to your application code is crucial, as it contains the logic that interacts with the Azure OpenAI service. You can manage your code in a code repository like GitHub or Azure DevOps, ensuring version control and collaborative development. Performance optimization steps. Select the OpenAI model that best fits your application's needs and performance requirements. Factors such as model size, processing speed, and accuracy should be considered when choosing the appropriate model for your task. For example, if you require fast responses, a smaller model might be preferred, while a larger model could offer higher accuracy but at the expense of speed. Craft effective prompts to guide the model and reduce ambiguity, improving response quality and speed. Well-structured prompts clearly define the task or question for the AI, minimizing the potential for misinterpretations or incorrect responses. For instance, providing context or background information can significantly enhance the model's understanding and improve the accuracy of its outputs. Utilize model-specific parameters to tailor the response behavior, such as temperature and top P, for optimal performance. These parameters allow you to fine-tune the model's output characteristics, balancing creativity with accuracy. For example, adjusting the temperature parameter can influence the randomness or predictability of the generated text, while top P controls the probability distribution of the chosen words. Implement caching mechanisms to store frequently used responses, reducing API calls and latency. By caching common responses, you can avoid repetitive API calls to the Azure OpenAI service, significantly reducing response times. For example, storing frequently asked questions and their answers in a cache can dramatically improve the speed and efficiency of your application. Send multiple requests in a single batch to reduce overall processing time and improve efficiency. Batching requests allows you to process multiple requests concurrently, minimizing the time required for each individual request. For example, in a chatbot application, you can group multiple user messages into a single batch, reducing the overall latency for conversation flow. Monitor the performance of your application using Azure Monitor and analyze metrics to identify areas for improvement. Azure Monitor provides insights into the health and performance of your Azure OpenAI application, allowing you to track key metrics such as response times, API call frequency, and error rates. By analyzing these metrics, you can identify bottlenecks and optimize your application for better performance. Utilize optimized hardware resources, such as GPUs, to enhance model processing speed and reduce latency. Leveraging dedicated hardware resources, such as graphics processing units (GPUs), can significantly accelerate the processing of complex AI models. For example, deploying your application to a virtual machine with a GPU can dramatically reduce response times and enhance overall application performance. Minimize network latency by deploying your application closer to the Azure OpenAI service or using a Content Delivery Network (CDN). By deploying your application in the same region as the Azure OpenAI service or utilizing a CDN, you can significantly reduce the distance data travels, resulting in faster response times. For example, using a CDN to cache static content closer to users can minimize network latency and improve application responsiveness. Incorporate robust error handling mechanisms to gracefully handle unexpected situations and prevent application failures. Implementing proper error handling ensures that your application can gracefully handle unexpected conditions, such as network failures or invalid input. For example, providing informative error messages and allowing users to retry actions can enhance the user experience and prevent application crashes. Ensure you are using the latest model versions to benefit from performance enhancements and bug fixes. Regularly updating your Azure OpenAI models ensures that you are utilizing the latest versions with improved performance and reliability. For example, new model releases often include performance optimizations, bug fixes, and improved accuracy, leading to a better overall user experience. This YAML file describes the process of updating an existing Azure OpenAI model with a new model from the Azure OpenAI service. It includes the prerequisites, UI access details, and step-by-step instructions. Prerequisites: Azure subscription. An active Azure subscription is required for this process. An Azure subscription provides access to various Azure services, including the Azure OpenAI service. To obtain an Azure subscription, you can sign up for a free trial or purchase a paid subscription through the Azure portal. The Azure portal is the web-based interface for managing Azure resources, including subscriptions. You can access the Azure portal at https://portal.azure.com https://portal.azure.com. Azure OpenAI resource. An existing Azure OpenAI resource containing a deployed Azure OpenAI model is required for this process. You can create an Azure OpenAI resource and deploy a model through the Azure portal. The Azure portal provides a graphical user interface for managing Azure OpenAI resources. You can navigate to the Azure OpenAI service in the Azure portal to create and manage resources. UI access for Azure Update Azure OpenAI model. The update process can be initiated from the Azure portal. The UI access involves navigating to the Azure OpenAI service, selecting the relevant resource, choosing the desired model, and finally selecting the Update Model option. For example, if you want to update the My model, you would navigate to the Azure OpenAI service within the Azure portal. Select the My resource. Select My model from the OpenAI models list, and then click on the Update Model button. Steps involved in updating an Azure OpenAI model. The first step involves navigating to the Azure OpenAI service within the Azure portal. This can be done by searching for Azure OpenAI in the search bar at the top of the Azure portal. After navigating to the Azure OpenAI service, select the specific Azure OpenAI resource that contains the model you want to update. You can identify the correct resource by its name or by reviewing its associated properties. Once you have selected the resource, navigate to the OpenAI Models tab. This tab displays a list of models deployed within the chosen resource. Select the specific model you wish to update from this list. Select the Update Model button within the Model's Details page. This action initiates the update process and prompts you to provide the required information. Choose the new model from the available models within the Azure OpenAI service. This model will replace the existing model in your Azure OpenAI resource. The Azure OpenAI service offers a variety of models for different use cases, such as text generation, code completion, and translation. Optionally, you can adjust the deployment settings for the new model. These settings may include options for the compute size, which determines the processing power allocated to the model. Click the Update button to initiate the model update process. Once clicked, the Azure OpenAI service begins updating your resource with the new model. Allow a few minutes for the model update process to complete. The duration of the update depends on the model size and other factors. Once the update process is finished, the new model becomes available for use in your applications. You can then leverage the capabilities of the updated model to perform tasks such as generating text, translating languages, or summarizing content. Azure Monitor now provides insights into the usage and performance of your Azure OpenAI service. Azure Monitor is a service in Azure that provides a centralized view of your Azure resources and their health. Azure Monitor provides insights into the usage and performance of your Azure OpenAI service. Prerequisites: Azure subscription. Access to an Azure subscription. Azure subscriptions are a way to organize and manage your Azure resources. Azure subscriptions are required to use any Azure service, including Azure OpenAI. Azure Portal is a web-based portal that provides a single pane of glass to manage your Azure resources. The Azure Portal can be used to access and manage Azure OpenAI resources. Azure OpenAI Resource and Azure OpenAI Resource deployed in your subscription. Azure OpenAI is a service in Azure that provides access to OpenAI's powerful language models. Azure Portal is a web-based portal that provides a single pane of glass to manage your Azure resources. The Azure Portal can be used to access and manage Azure OpenAI resources. UI access for Azure Monitor. Azure OpenAI updates. Navigate to the Azure Monitor workspace. Select the Azure OpenAI resource type. View insights such as usage, latency, and error rates. Azure Monitor is a service in Azure that provides a centralized view of your Azure resources and their health. The Azure Monitor workspace is a central location to manage your Azure Monitor resources. Azure OpenAI is a service in Azure that provides access to OpenAI's powerful language models. Insights such as usage, latency, and error rates can be accessed through the Azure Monitor workspace. The Azure OpenAI Studio is a web-based interface where you can manage your Azure OpenAI deployments. To access the studio, navigate to the Azure OpenAI service in the Azure portal and select the Studio option. Once in the studio, you will be able to manage your deployments, access usage metrics, and configure settings. Select the Azure OpenAI deployment that you want to upgrade. The deployment will be listed in the Deployments section of the studio. You can use the search bar to find the specific deployment you are looking for. Once you have selected your deployment, click the Upgrade button. This will open a pop-up window that will guide you through the upgrade process. Choose the desired Azure OpenAI model version for your deployment. The model versions available for upgrade will depend on your current deployment and the specific Azure OpenAI service plan that you are using. It's important to review the documentation for each model version to understand its capabilities and limitations before selecting one for upgrade. For example, if your current deployment is using a smaller model and you require improved performance for more complex tasks, you might choose a larger model for your upgrade. Confirm the upgrade by reviewing the changes and clicking the Confirm button. This will initiate the upgrade process and begin updating your Azure OpenAI deployment to the selected model version. Once the upgrade process begins, you will need to wait for it to complete. The duration of the upgrade can vary depending on the size of your deployment and the model version you have selected. You can monitor the progress of the upgrade in the studio. After the upgrade is complete, your deployment will be using the new model version. You can test it by sending requests to your endpoint and verifying that it is now running the desired model. Azure OpenAI Service provides access to large language models from OpenAI. With Azure OpenAI, users can leverage the power of these models while benefiting from the enterprise-grade security, compliance, and reliability of Azure. An example of a use case would be to integrate a chatbot with your customer service application to provide 24/7 support to your customers. Prerequisites: Azure subscription. Short description. An active Azure subscription is required to create and use Azure OpenAI resources. You can create a free Azure subscription and start experimenting with Azure OpenAI services. You can even get free credits for your new subscription. UI access. Azure portal subscriptions. Azure OpenAI resource. Short description. An Azure OpenAI resource needs to be created within your Azure subscription. This resource acts as a container for your OpenAI models and deployments. You can choose from different OpenAI models based on your needs. UI access. Azure portal Azure OpenAI. UI access. Azure portal Azure OpenAI create a resource, select a deployment type, provide deployment details, deploy. A sequential list of steps that need to be performed to remove an Azure OpenAI deployment from an Azure account. The Azure portal is the web-based interface for managing Azure resources. It is where users interact with Azure services. To locate an Azure OpenAI deployment, users must first locate the resource group that holds the Azure OpenAI deployment. This is done by navigating to the Azure portal and then identifying and selecting the resource group, a logical grouping of Azure resources that contains the Azure OpenAI deployment. Selecting the Azure OpenAI service refers to the specific instance of the Azure OpenAI service that the user intends to remove. This service is typically represented in the Azure portal as a distinct resource or entry within the selected resource group. To access the Azure OpenAI deployment within the Azure portal, the user navigates to the left-hand menu, which provides a list of options for managing the selected Azure OpenAI service. This menu includes the option to view and manage deployments associated with the service. The user can view and select the specific Azure OpenAI deployment they wish to delete. Deployments are often categorized by their configuration and purpose. This step involves the user confirming their intent to remove the selected Azure OpenAI deployment. The portal typically provides a confirmation dialog or button for initiating the deletion process, which permanently removes the deployment and its associated resources from the Azure environment. Ensure you have an Azure OpenAI service and an Azure OpenAI client instance. This means you have successfully created an Azure OpenAI service resource and have created an instance of the Azure OpenAI client library in your application. Call the dispose method on the Azure OpenAI client instance. This releases all resources held by the client. For example, this could include network connections, memory allocated for data, and any other resources that the client was using. Close the connection to the Azure OpenAI service. This ensures that no further requests are sent to the service. By closing the connection, you are explicitly terminating the communication between your application and the Azure OpenAI service to prevent any unintended interactions. Release any other resources held by the client, such as the authentication token. This includes releasing any authentication tokens or credentials that were used to access the Azure OpenAI service. The dispose method is usually called in a using block to ensure that the client is properly disposed of when it is no longer needed. This is a best practice in programming languages like C to automatically release resources when they are no longer in use, ensuring efficient resource management and avoiding potential memory leaks. Prerequisites: an active Azure subscription. You can create an Azure subscription by signing up for an Azure account and then subscribing to a specific pricing tier. This allows you to access and manage Azure resources, including Azure OpenAI services. A deployed Azure OpenAI resource. This is a resource that you create in Azure to manage your Azure OpenAI service. It involves setting up the resource and configuring its settings. UI access for Azure. Close Azure OpenAI connection. Access the Azure portal. This is the web-based interface that allows you to manage all your Azure resources. Navigate to your Azure OpenAI resource. You will need to find the Azure OpenAI resource you want to delete in the Azure portal. Select the Delete option from the Resources menu. You will find the Delete option in the Resources menu or within the settings. Confirm the deletion process. This step will permanently delete your Azure OpenAI resource and all its associated data. Make sure to back up any important data before proceeding. To access Azure portal, open a web browser and navigate to the Azure portal website. Enter your Azure account credentials to sign in and access your resources. Once signed in, locate the search bar on the Azure portal and type Azure OpenAI service. The search results will display a list of matching services, including Azure OpenAI. From the list of Azure OpenAI resources that appear, select the specific resource you want to deactivate. This might involve reviewing the resource name, location, and other identifying attributes to find the correct one. Clicking on Deactivate brings up a dialog box or confirmation screen, where you can review the deactivation process and choose to proceed or cancel. The drop-down list usually provides options like cost optimization, no longer needed, or technical issues. Choose the reason that best describes why you are deactivating the Azure OpenAI resource. After selecting a reason for deactivation, confirm your action by clicking on a Confirm button or similar prompt. This final step initiates the deactivation process. Once you confirm deactivation, the Azure OpenAI resource will be disabled. This means that the service will no longer be available for use, and the usage of the service will stop. The resource will remain in your Azure account but will not incur further costs or generate any outputs. Prerequisites. Azure subscription. Access to an Azure subscription is required to perform operations in Azure, including deleting resources. Resource group. The resource group that contains the Azure OpenAI resources that you want to delete. Azure Portal. Access to the Azure Portal is needed to perform manual deletion of resources. Steps involved in deleting Azure OpenAI resource group. 1. Navigate to the Azure Portal website using a web browser. 2. In the Azure Portal, search for resource groups and select it. 3. In the list of resource groups, select the resource group that contains the Azure OpenAI resources that you want to delete. 4. Inside the resource group details page, select the Delete Resource Group option. 5. To confirm the deletion, enter the name of the resource group that you want to delete. 6. Click the Delete button to initiate the deletion process.